Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show, a Baxter Professional Services production.
Welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy Show. I'm Tina Baxter, your hostess. We're experts in nursing and experts in business. Our mission at the Nurse Shark Academy is to expand the consciousness of nurses as experts to reflect their individual and collective power by promoting self-agency through inspiring nurses to dream big, reach far, and soar to new heights in business and the profession of nursing, thereby producing a richer and healthier society. The Nurse Shark Academy Show highlights nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field who promote entrepreneurship. We interview nurse leaders and encourage them to tell their story. Join us and support these wonderful nurse entrepreneurs and leaders. Today's guest will be Catherine Mupoperi-Mukasa. Catherine is the owner of Mukanya Health and Holistic Wellbeing in Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. She is a whole health education coach, and we are pleased to have her here. Please welcome Catherine to the show. And hello again, and welcome to the Nurse Shark Academy. I'm Tina Baxter, and I'm your hostess. We're the Nurse Shark Academy, where we're experts in nursing and experts in business. Our mission is to expand the consciousness of nurses as experts to reflect their individual and collective power by promoting self-agency through inspiring nurses to dream big, reach far, and soar to new heights in business and the profession of nursing, thereby producing a healthier and richer society. On our show, we like to highlight nurse business owners and others in the healthcare field who promote entrepreneurship. We want to welcome to today's episode Catherine Mupoperi-Mukasa, who's the owner of Mukanya Health and Holistic Wellbeing in Pittsburg, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Catherine, to the show.
Thank you, Tina. I'm so delighted to be with you.
It's been great getting to know you and talk with you. Tell our audience a little bit about your background and a little bit about you.
Okay. My name is Catherine Mupoperi-Mukasa, and I grew up in Zimbabwe, and I always wanted to make sure that everybody's taken care of. I enjoyed cooking and, making sure everybody is fed. When I was growing up, I thought I was going to be a teacher, but, I came to the U.S. I studied food science, and then later on, due to health, issues, with family members and myself, I decided to go to nursing and learn more about health and how to get better.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So, yeah. What was it about nursing that interested you to take this path?
Just learning about how the body works, and the aspect of providing caring, and learning how I can do that better for family members and myself, and how the body works, and what we can do to improve our health. And not always, waiting for the doctor or anybody else to provide information, but being able to dig in and find out, the information we need to improve our own health. And, that's what I would like to share with other people, to encourage them that you can understand, issues about your own health. There are simpler ways of doing it, and you don't have to feel like, you have to wait for other people to tell you what to do. You need to understand what's going on and really take charge in making, be at the center of making decisions.
I think that's so important that we are, as patients, included in our healthcare decisions. So where did you go to nursing school, and what was your first nursing job out of nursing school?
Okay, I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and my first job, I guess, I did some home care for somebody who who had, spinal cord injury. And then after that, then I started working in the hospital and, in long-term care.
Okay. So what was your favorite job as a nurse? Was it long-term care? Was it in the hospital? Or was it home care?
Mm, I guess, they were aspects I liked for each of them. I like the hospital because, they were, I got exposed to more, there's more exposure to, what goes on and, more opportunities to learn more. And, being in long-term care, I got to see what happens, when people are not able to take care of themselves, and the importance of family involvement to keep, coming to help to take care of their families. And it's like, it's very important to not just leave somebody there. It's like, all the way, we still need to be involved.
Yes. So I understand you're still working as a nurse. What do you do as a nurse right now?
Right now, I'm working in long-term care.
Okay. Which is an industry, as many of you know, that I love because I love working with older adults. That's my
Yes.
specialty is gerontology. And there's never a dull day when you work in long-term care.
That's very true. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And so you're in Pennsylvania. Have you always lived in Pennsylvania, or did you move around a bit?
When I first came to the US, I went to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
That's where I did my first degree in food science, and then I moved to Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So not too far from DC, but far enough, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
You
that's
know,
true.
I've been in Washington, so there's some things, that are there, and it's very expensive to live in DC.
Yes, yes.
Very expensive. Um, and so yeah, so that's great. And now you are an entrepreneur and with your own company. And so tell us about your company and what you're doing with that.
Okay. In my company, I am a World Health Nurse Educator, or, some people will understand better, when I use the term coach.
Hmm.
So in this company, my job is like, I am really more like a facilitator. I simplify health information to make it easier to understand what's going on in the body. And the way we do it is like, we break down, the aspects of health. We break them down into like, 5 aspects of whole health, which is like the physical, which is, our physical body, what's going on, that's where we feel our symptoms. We also look at nutrition, because we know what we eat, we are what we eat, that's what provides us with the energy to sustain our lives. And then we also look at the emotions, because stress is a big issue when it comes to our health. And emotions are things, if we don't express them, they stay in the body, they get lodged there. And, eventually, they will express themselves as an illness. And we also look at the environment, where we live, how, what goes on in our environment, because that's part of, it's part of us. It affects our health. And we also look at spirituality.
Okay.
because, we are more than our bodies. There's that spiritual aspect of us that, also affects our health, and, it helps us to get better as well. This is not religion, it's just spirituality, how we relate to our environment, to other people, and to ourselves, our beliefs, how we look at the world. So I look at all those, those aspects, break them down, ask questions along those areas, to try to understand my clients, because, when you understand somebody, then, you'll be able to help them better.
And so it sounds like you get a chance to be more holistic in your approach when you're looking at your overall health. Right? We're not just talking about treating disease, but we're talking about wellness in the sense of being well in all aspects of your life, including spirituality, which is important and often neglected. It's that connectedness we have with each other, with the environment. We need to make sure that we are centered in all the things that we do. I think that's wonderful. So if you were to participate in this and take your program, can you explain a little bit about what would happen at the intake? Now, I've been through the intake process, full disclosure, and we'll get to my scan in a moment, but I wanted you to walk our audience through what it's like when you take them into the process.
So the first, our first encounter is, the interview process. That's when, I'll be asking, questions, along the 5 aspects of health, the physical, how you are feeling, and, your nutrition, what you're eating, any food allergies, any type of diet, that you follow. And then we also look at, any stresses that one is going through, family structure, that's important. We have to look at that. And then environment, is one exercising? Is it possible to exercise? What sort of things, might be preventing one from exercising? And, what preferences, what does one feel is feasible for them to be able to do that? And then, spirituality, just like, finding out, what one's beliefs are, without, trying to change anybody's beliefs, but, just trying to understand, the whole person, because with everything we do, we have to look at, not just parts of us, but the whole.
The whole person.
The whole person.
So the first part is the interview, where you get information and background, and then the actual testing process. How does that work?
Do you mean when I do the wellness scan? Okay. That comes after the first meeting. I'll give people an option if they want to participate in a wellness scan, or if they prefer to just continue with with consultation. Because after the first interview, what I do is I will go and look at all the answers and issues that one might have raised. I do my research, because we all know I don't have to have all the information right there and then. I just have to know where to go and look for information when one has questions. So when I come back the following week, because with these meetings, it will be it's best to do once a week. So when we come back, I summarize what they provided in the first interview, And then I will provide them with some information that I would have researched about some of the issues that they raised. And then I'll ask them to provide me with information on, what they prefer to work on first.
Okay. So when you're talking about what we call in another industry, like your game plan interview, right? Where you're talking about what issues they raise, then you will provide solutions for them that they can explore to improve their own health.
Yes.
Okay. And then with the wellness scan, if you want to go ahead and share your screen at this time, you can kind of walk them through what they do with the wellness scan. And it's important to note, and I want to say this for our audience, this is my wellness scan you'll be seeing. And no, there was no blood tests involved.
That's correct.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So with this wellness scan, it's like you sign up on the website, and then I provide a link where all you do is you either count to 10 or you just recite some words, and the computer picks up energy from your voice, and from that instantly it comes up with results of what it has picked up from your energy. And when you go to look at the scan, this is what you will see. Okay, so the first part is like the energy source. We all need energy, like energy from the sun or from food. So let me see. And it will explain about how what you need to do. Let me move this here. And the way you read the scan is like you look at the colors on the right side of the screen. If it's purple, that will mean that that's areas you need to pay more attention. This is not diagnostic. It just points out areas where energetically you may need to pay more attention. And the color orange also is like we need to pay more attention. And then we don't worry too much about the yellow and green.
So may I interject? So what we're looking at here is a computer screen, and on the computer screen, it has your scan priorities, and it goes from green, which is low, yellow, orange, which is kind of mid high, and then high would be purple. So anything that's in that purple, orange, and purple range are things that you may want to pay attention to in your own life. So when you see that on your screen, and this is just for, we're looking right now at the energy source, where your energy is coming from. It tells you where there's areas that you may want to change. So on my scan, here, diet was yellow, which I think is great.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Hydration was green. I think that's awesome, because I really am working on drinking more water. So I have my water bottle that I keep, and so I try to make more water. So what's interesting for my scan, as we can see, was polarity. You want to tell us a little bit about that area right there?
Where is that?
Because that was orange.
Oh, okay. Okay. So when you want to look to find out more information about polarity, you just highlight on it, like just what I did here, and then it will show you in blue. It will explain what polarity is, like supports slightly negative charge to HBF, defense against EMF and air, because really we are pretty much magnetic. We have a magnetic field around us. So we And, with these days, it's like, there is so much, pollution from the EMF that we need to be aware of, microwaves, and, all that, the radiation, it affects, like, our chakras. I don't know if people are aware of, those are like, the energy centers in the body. And, that affects how, the body functions.
And I
Yeah.
saw, if you hover back over that for 1 second, I saw here at the very bottom it says, designed to correct the polarity of the wave that carries genetic memory and consciousness. So it includes knowledges of who we are down to the genetic level. So I find that very interesting, that at that part, that's something I would need to pay more attention to, is that genetic memory and consciousness.
Yeah. Yeah. And we don't want anything that changes our genetics, our original genetics,
Mm, Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then, then we go to energy source. And then for yours, okay. And, here we're looking at how well energy is being driven through the major organ and system networks in your body. So that's what the energy strength, shows, how strong energy is flowing throughout your body. And you can look at the heart imprinter, the cells, how energy is being is flowing, in your cells.
And interesting enough, my metabolism, which I know is on the orange side, and part of that is because of things that I know going on in my body. And so that's one of those areas where I'm looking to attack, is that energy level from the mitochondrial side with the cells.
Yeah, yeah, that's the powerhouse for energy in our bodies that, we have to protect and make sure it's functioning properly. So we have the energy. Okay, and then we look at the energy flow. How energy is flowing, through your transmitters, the lymphatics, the kidneys, and, the gallbladder, the liver, all the major organs. Okay. Do you want me to explain more, or I don't know?
No, we can.
Okay. And then we also look at, mind body. And mind body, of course, is very important, because that affects our health. There's a big connection there with mind body. So this, you can look at, looking within. Okay. The part we rely on our day-to-day basis is associated with thoughts, intellect, reasoning, beliefs, values, memories, conditional emotions. This is the dominant part in most people and conditions, how we act and behave. Okay. And then under this, we also look at emotions. You click there. And you can check what the scan shows, and if it rings true to what's going on within yourself, emotionally as well. So this the part we rely on in our day-to-day basis associated. I already read that, so it's showing the same information.
So as we're looking at the screen, I just wanted to kind of paint a picture. So it looks at things like your peace, love, your cerebral medulla, your cerebral hologram, your cerebral cortex, how all these things play out in your scan. And so if you see mine, for love, I'm in the yellow. I think that's great. Let's get it green, right? I'm always like
Yes.
challenging myself. Let's do more. Let's do more.
Oh, yes.
And maybe that's my personal drive. But in there, my goal is, and that's one of the reasons why, I this resonated with me, is because everything I do, I try to do out of love. Even taking care of my patients or serving my fellow sharks in the Nurse Shark Academy, or helping an attorney in a legal case. These are the things that I want to do because I want to have a genuine love for my clients so that I can do the best job for them. Let's scroll back up to the top really quick. I hit the emotions again because I don't think it actually moved over.
Okay.
There we go. And so you'll
Okay.
see positive for love, compassion, joy, peace, trust. That's all on the side that you can see on the screen. So for our listeners, what you're looking at is kind of like a readout that you would see, and it has these categories. That each category, you can hover over them, and it will explain what's in the category, and you can get more information based on what you see. What I think is great is my gratitude is high. I'm like, woohoo! Out of that, my gratitude is purple on this screen, so I think that's great. So let's go ahead and move on to our next, the energetic immunity at the top.
Oh, yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay. So, okay. For yours, it was pretty good. The only thing, is the liver. Okay.
Mhm.
Primarily the liver, okay, may be related to general lethargy, exhaustion, with no cause, also poor appetite. So it's just showing you that you can compare, to how you're feeling, if
Mhm.
it rings true with what, this scan is saying. And if it feels like, that's correct, then, you need to work on that. Yeah. And, this affects, your immunity energetically. Okay. And then stars, energetic stars results. Okay, let me move this down. So the body provides itself with many information networks, which function as subsystems of a more complex big body field and act as metabolic pathways governing energy usage. And these subsystems are known as energy stars. So you can look on the left side, you can hover over, the lymph, memory, imprinter, energy, triple cavity, autoimmune, circulation, muscles, chill, audio, and you can look through, you can hover over any of this and get more information. And then, environment.
Mhm.
So under environment is like there is so much, that you can learn about. Because, we get exposed to environmental toxins that from home, work, and personal care, the products we use. It's pretty much recommended. It's best to use organic chemicals as much as we can, because synthetic chemicals tend to be difficult for the body to process.
And so on my scan, I'm looking at asbestos, and I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? Azo dyes, flame retardants, and I think I work in the medical industry, so who knows what I'm exposed to at work. Fluoride in our water, fluoride in our toothpaste. Formaldehyde is really high, and I'm thinking maybe I need to rethink my nail care regimen.
Yeah. Yes.
Those types of things. So we need to look at those in our environment. Parabens is another great one that's on that list, to see where we can cut down on some of those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things we put on our bodies, they do go inside the body and they affect us. For most people, they are not aware, they just feel like, oh, it's on the skin, it's not going to affect me. But the skin is like, it's the largest organ, in the body. So yeah, it does affect us. Okay. And then, so we also see, solvents. And when you go down here, it will explain some more, what kind of, solvents that are toxic, that your body has a difficult time getting rid of. This means, these are the most difficult for your body to get rid of. So we need to look to see, how to avoid those chemicals, that are so difficult for your body to process. And then toxic metals, aluminum. There's aluminum in, aluminum pots, and maybe some medications. What else? Here's aluminum.
But we use it every day in cooking.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And deodorants.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And there are toxins, that our bodies have difficult time to get rid of. So we need to pay attention, look at the ingredients. And then herbicides, things that they put on, on our produce that, the body has a hard time getting rid of. So we can go through the list, just hover to see which ones. If it's purple, it means it's very difficult for your body to get rid of. So avoiding it, will be the best thing to do.
So again, this is not saying that I've been exposed to these things. What it's saying is that my body would have a hard time getting rid of those things should I be exposed.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So it's like, it's a way of, protecting yourself, knowing, what's more difficult for your body to get rid of and, avoid it.
Right.
Yeah. And then we look at food. A lot of, processed foods. It's like, they have a lot of chemicals, additives that are difficult, for our bodies to process as well. It's almost like, we really need to eat very simple diets without a whole lot of things added, because for most people, the body, just cannot process them, and it ends up affecting, other organs in the body.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, we go on to mold. This can be, in the environment. So you hover over them, to see, where they might be coming from. And then we also go to radiation. We have EMF, microwave, far infrared, computer. Yeah.
And I have to admit, let's stop there for a minute. Computer, definitely for me, because I sit most of my time at my computer, 10 to 15 hours a day. That's just the way it is, because my job is talking to people and documenting in the laptop or the computer. And so that was very eye-opening for me, is to look at that, my computer screen time, and how much time I'm sitting in front of the computer, and making sure I get up and move away from the computer.
Yes. Yeah. and the cell phones. There are ways of also protecting ourselves from this radiation, but we can always look at that later on. When you go through the program, it will give you options of what sort of things you can do to protect yourself from some of this radiation. And of course, avoiding it as much as possible also, it is good. I know we can't completely avoid it. So we have to figure out ways of, protecting ourselves while we're using them.
Well, let's look at nutrition.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And then nutrition. So this just shows what nutrients maybe, your body may need more. So, you can hover through everything. Maybe, you may need more because, maybe something is going on that, your body really needs more of certain vitamins.
Yeah, so like on my screen, it's showing here for those of you that are listening, my vitamin C is in the purple. So that's something that I would need more of, which interesting enough is that something I had added to my diet already, and I'm working on adding more vitamin C. But my vitamin B1 is in the green, and I've been on a vitamin B supplement for a very long time. So that seems to be doing pretty good. My vitamin Bs are all the B complexes seem to be doing pretty good. My B9 and B10 is a little in the orange, but my B12 is fine. So these are things that can kind of give you guidance. It's not definitive as diagnostic or anything like that, but it gives you a good guidance on what nutrients your body may be missing. And I found that for me, a lot of this did ring true because of my own health challenges that I've identified. So yeah.
And of course, one can work with with a healthcare provider, to, they can just say, this is the, what came up, what can I do, what might be going on in my body, that, I may be lacking some of this. So yeah, it gives you, power, to take charge and, know what to ask when you go to see a healthcare provider. Okay, and then, life journey. And, that's part of, that spiritual aspect that, we need to take care of as a holistic approach to take care of our whole self.
So yeah, looking at mine on the side, you can see Inquirer is in the yellow. That's good. Creators in the green. I found that interesting. Endings was in the orange. So can you tell us a little bit about what that means, endings?
I guess maybe knowing when to end some things. Let me read.
When it's time to walk away.
yeah, knowing when to walk away, not keeping on holding on to something. Yeah, so it just gives you pointers that maybe there's something you're hesitating, that you don't know whether to stop it and start something new. Just giving pointers that then you can look into what's going on.
Great.
Yeah. And then destiny, and these things, it's like we're all always looking at this. We are always trying to improve our lives and our health as well. And I think that's it. Let me see. Oh no, there is more.
There's more.
Yeah.
But here's what I like to. I'm interested in the two that says archetypes and hero's journey, because those of you who know me, that's been my big thing of talking about nurses as heroes and what archetype you are. And so I found this interesting that I scored very high for mystic, philosopher, and messenger. And you know, need to work on this treasurer part. I'm not sure what that means.
Mhm.
And merchant, I find that kind of interesting.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I guess, the business aspect,
Mhm.
always, trying to figure out how to improve in those areas. Maybe that's also related, to the endings as well.
It could be.
Yeah,
Very well could be.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, so, it's good pointers, for us, to look, into our lives to see, what areas we need to work on. And, we also have, beliefs, that's part of our spirituality.
Yeah.
And with this also, the people in your environment can also affect, what comes up over here as well. Like if you're dealing with people who are having problems with, like, abundance, um, it may show up here as well. Um, so, you need to, figure out how to deal with people, who are not showing being abundant as well.
Hmm.
Yeah. And, just, so it goes both ways, because as human beings, we're always, we're exchanging energy, we affect each other.
And that's so important that we talk about the where we've grown up, right? Because that's what these core beliefs are formed during our childhood. There are things that we have learned that we socialize as normal, and that's what I see in my work with psychiatric patients. Is a lot of times those abnormalities. So, for example, physical abuse and emotional abuse. You know, if you grow up in an environment like that, some of those behaviors become normalized. And so you see that carried forward in subsequent generations. And so it's understanding how we've come to those core beliefs and how we can make a shift in that. That's the key here.
Mhm. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So being able to look back at those beliefs and, see, how they were formed, and is that still true? Because, they were formed, when you were in a different state. So it's good to go back and look at those beliefs again and see if, it's still true.
And so let's move up here to where it says recommendations. Is there anything on that tab?
Yeah. Over here.
Yes. Hmm.
Yes. So on recommendations, so these programs, they do have infoceuticals, which are drops that one can use to try to correct energetically those areas where, the body has problems, correcting.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, so for you here, it would so this will be, the type of, infoceuticals that one can order if they so desire. So that'll be like, five, usually it's 5 infoceuticals that they will recommend. And then you would take like, 15 drops of each. That's where these 15 numbers are.
Okay.
So you take 15 drops of each for like 28 days.
Okay.
Yeah. And if it feels like, 15 is too much, there's a way of, maybe reducing them uh to where, it feels comfortable.
All I have to know is how does it taste? That's what I
Um,
would want to know. That's my first thought. Oh wait.
It's a little bit salty.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't taste too bad. Yeah, it is a taste to it. Maybe, yeah, maybe a little bit, salty, but yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, can you put the drops into something else, like in water or a juice or?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I put them in water, just a little water.
Okay.
And I think some people maybe they can take them straight, but I think it's best to just put in maybe a little water.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you can adjust, once you try and see, what you would what you can tolerate.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's so. How did you? We can go ahead and stop the share. How did you get started in this area?
You mean with this scan here?
Yeah. How'd you get
Uh,
started?
I guess, I'm always looking for ways of improving my health. Um, Other ways that are non-invasive. And, yeah, I'm always trying to get more information into my body. I'm interested in energy medicine. I think that's how I ended up, joining this company, Nest Health,
Okay.
because we are energy. And, we need to take care of that. We're more than our physical bodies, because who we are extends more than, the physical body that we see. So it's important to take care of everything,
Yes.
what we
Great.
see and what we don't see.
Well, I always thought about this. We need to expand our definition of health. Most of the time, we think of health as the absence of disease. And so we don't think about prevention. A lot of times, by the time I see someone as a nurse practitioner, they've already had the damage done. Where if we were more proactive for our health and we thought about prevention, we wouldn't be so hesitant to go in to be seen to find out, oh, I'm seeing my numbers up for my cholesterol, for example, are going up. What can I change in my diet and my habits so that I don't have to go on to medications? And I think that's key and critical. So I appreciate the ability to have this scan done because it puts it in my mind some things that I may want to change because, again, yes, we are all energy. So for those of you that are listening, if you want to see what the report looks like, hop on over to the YouTube channel. You'll see the video there, and you can actually see it. What my report is. I don't mind sharing my report, and maybe you all can encourage me to help me to get healthier as well on the way. So, one last thing before we wrap up. Um, is there a share or promotion that you have for our listeners?
Yes, I will provide 3 free wellness scans on a first serve basis. So whoever hops on and sign up, I can do them for free.
So
It's
she's
available.
offering 3 wellness scans for the first come, first serve. So you get there. If you when this goes live, if you hear this, I'm going to ask you to use the code Nurse Shark Academy so she knows where you're coming from. And the first 3 people that sign up will get a free wellness scan. So again, the code is Nurse Shark Academy, and that will get you your free wellness scan. So she'll know who's coming from our show to get that, and then we can get a hold of you through your website, which is
MukanyaHealth.com.
okay, and that's spelled Mukanya health.com. All
That's
right, so
correct.
her contact information will be available in our show notes. I want to thank you, Kathy, for taking the time to come and explain to us how we can do this to become healthier in our lives, but also as a nurse, this is a different way of teaching your patients and providing a service to people in the healthcare space. And you can still use that food science degree and helping us understand how to eat healthier. So I appreciate your time. And so my last question, as always, if you had one piece of advice for a budding nurse entrepreneur, what would it be?
To follow your heart. Don't hold back. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. Because when you follow your heart, it also improves your health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So that wraps us up for today. Thank you for listening to the Nurse Shark Academy show. Please like and share our information. We want to get the word out that nurses are out there doing phenomenal things in the entrepreneurial space. I look forward to talking to you again. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Wait, don't go. There's a very important announcement from the Nurse Shark Academy. Look for the information at the nursesharkacademy.biz. Hi, this is Tina Baxter, and thank you for listening to our podcast and watching our video on YouTube. I want to thank you for joining us today. But before you go, please don't forget that we have the Nurse Shark Academy Freedom Finance Workshop coming up on March the 29th. 2023 from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to bust the myths of having no time, no money, and no idea where to start to launch your own business as a nurse. So join us for the Nurse Shark Academy Freedom Finance Workshop on March 29th from 3 to 5. And please, before you go, please like, subscribe, and share our videos and our podcast content. Thank you.